welcome in to the wagon that is the Toronto Blue Jays. This is Blue Jays Today, and we've got a great series to recap. Twice last week, the Toronto Blue Jays got to bring out the brooms, dude. I think they had last year 5 total sweeps. 4 or 5 total sweeps. There was a tweet about it recently. It was either 4 or 5. Either way, we're already at that. And we're halfway through the season, and we're leading the division, and we're several games up over everybody. I mean, we're on an 8-game win streak right now, folks. The Toronto Blue Jays are unequivocally a wagon right now, and with the MLB trade deadline coming up, some of the reports that are coming out are very, very exciting about what it is that they may or may not be doing come July 31st. We're going to break into that, what happened this weekend, and then what's upcoming. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlock.
I'm your host, Adam Paddlin. Guys, it feels great. This is the best Monday I've ever felt in quite possibly years. We watched the Toronto Blue Jays in just 1 week of time go from, you know what, we're right there, we're happy, we're contending, we're exceeding expectations, to holy shit, this could very well be the best team since 1993. Like, actually, they're on pace in terms of their wins to be that team. Right. To be that team from 93 and 92. And it's crazy because we never would have thought that if you told me that preseason, I'd be like, dude, you're on drugs. Well, or at least you're trying to scam me.
So we were actually at the game on Sunday, and we were there with like somebody that works with us, and he was talking. He's not as connected to the Jays as we are, but still pretty connected. But he was asking, he's like, did you expect any of this? Like, did you see any of this coming? And I told him, okay, if you would have given me 2 records, if you would have said that they are what they are right now, or you flipped the wins and the losses. So we have more than 50 losses. We have 38 wins. So 38 and 52 or 52 and 38. And you say, okay, which one's more likely at this point of the season? I would have had to say the one where we're losing 52 times. Yep. This was not expected by anyone. And if anyone comes out and says, oh, yeah, I saw this coming, they're lying. That's not true, okay? Not even Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro, I think, expected this level of performance from their baseball team. This is exceeding everyone's expectations. It is so exciting to watch how they are winning ball games right now, and to see them 3 games up on New York, who only 5 weeks ago was 7 games up on us. Yeah. They were 7 games up on us and the Tampa Bay Rays. Now we're 3 up on them. It is one of the greatest stretches of baseball I have ever seen the Toronto Blue Jays play in my time being a fan.
And it has potential to be one of the greatest that we've ever seen of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, the Blue Jays are currently at a 8-game win streak. The record in the franchise is 11, and that was set when the Blue Jays were in 2015, and they had that historical run, if y'all remember that. But they right now have an opportunity to do something crazy, which is either tie that record and break that record. Yeah, as you can see right here, 2015, they set that record twice. That's crazy.
That will win you the division.
that will win you the division. And someone in the chat was saying, too, what was the Blue Jays record at the deadline in 2015? It was actually 50 and 51.
That's insane.
Which is insane. But the Blue Jays right now, we have 3 games against the White Sox. Now, I don't want to jinx anything because, I mean, we're already exceeding my expectations so far at this point in the season. But if they were to somehow sweep the White Sox and have an 11-game win streak, man, you've got a lot of comparisons to one of the greatest seasons of 2015 and also the greatest seasons of 1993 and 1992.
They have they got a lot of work cut out for them still, and I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves just because, you know, you do look at the New York Yankees and look what happened to them, right? It was only 3 or 4 weeks ago that both Adam and I would have said here with a straight face, yeah, it's the Yankees division to lose. They're running away with it. Guess what? They've kind of lost it now. You know, they kind of fumbled the bag, and that is still on the table for the Jays, right? That's definitely something that they could end up doing at some point. So they got to continue to play at this high level, but the good news for them is that they got the White Sox, then they have the Athletics. That is going to finish off their schedule until the All-Star break. 2 very, very beatable teams to then get into the break time and go, okay, boys, let's take a breather and reflect on how we were this good. Speaking of reflection, I kind of want to reflect a little bit on that Angels series.
Yeah, let's do it.
It was a lot closer than the Yankee series, believe it or not. Okay, the offense wasn't nearly as dominant as they were against New York, you know, putting up 11 runs and, you know, averaging 9 runs per game. I know that both of us said it was 8, but it was 9 runs per game in that New York series. They were averaging a lot less. However,
3.6667.
there you go.
Math.
Good, quick math.
Yeah.
However, the pitching kind of took that step up in this series, man.
Yeah.
And talk to me a little bit about what stood out to you in this one.
Absolutely. Kevin Gausman, I know we've been joking a lot, like we have a bunch of number 3s, but hey, for a number 3 to give you 5 2/3, and yes, he gave up his fair share. He had 7 games yesterday, but limited the damage. 3 walks. That's a lot of walks. Had a lot of base runners, but he had 9 strikeouts, got out of a lot of jams, and gave you a chance to win. Max Scherzer as well. Hello. Thank you very much. Again, getting something from Max Scherzer is amazing. And then, of course, Eric Lauer.
That's who I wanted.
Eric Lauer, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, like we brought it up, you mentioned your kind of wild card 3-game series like lineup, which would include Eric Lauer in game 2. I mean, at this rate, if playoffs were to start next week, how could you not line up Eric Lauer and then maybe some sort of backup behind him to go in one of those games?
So somebody commented after that, because I think we posted a clip talking about that.
Yes.
And somebody commented at me and was like, "Oh, you're such a bandwagoner.
Yeah,
You're just hopping on."
Tell me you don't know ball if you without saying you don't know ball.
I mean, what's the difference from me hopping on Eric Lauer's train right now and everyone hopping on George Springer's train right now? You're talking about 2 individuals, one of who didn't even play in MLB last year. The other one who did was pretty terrible and bad. And this year, they are having both incredible bounce-back seasons. Lauer going 6 innings, shutout ball. Like, that's what we wanted to see from him finally. You kept talking about the pitch count. You kept saying, okay, how many innings can we actually expect out of this guy? On the best day, it's maybe 4 or 5. That's not true anymore, because now on the best day, he can go 6, and he can go 6 scoreless. And that's something that the other pitchers, Kevin Gausman and Max Scherzer, they were incapable of doing whilst they had good outings in their own right. Oh, shit, right.
He gave up 2 earned runs.
He gave up 2 earned runs. My bad. I forgot that those were cashed after he left.
Right.
Not a perfect outing, but still, point being, that was 6 innings of quality baseball right there. I did forget about those 2 earned runs after he left the ball.
All good. Honestly, I thought so too. It was kind of itching in the back of my head. But you can see right here, 94 pitches, right? And he probably could have went 100 if he would have cleaned up that last inning right there of work, right, in the 7th. So, look, he's got the distance. That's great. Can we stretch him out? Now, I'm not going to say, September he's going to start, but if we were to enter tomorrow, is what I'm saying. Because, all that matters, ladies and gentlemen, is who are your best guys walking into the postseason? Because right now we don't have a clear ace. We don't have those guys. Right now it's anybody's up for the taking. And who wants to be hot coming into September and playing all throughout September hot? Whoever the hottest people are, they're starting game 1 and 2 for me. In a wild card series, that might change if you go to the LDS, but a wild card series, you're pitching your best 3.
I agree, man. It's just all about making it to the next day and staying alive, right? When it is such a small and short series like that. And honestly, Eric Lauer, in my opinion, is one of those individuals who could give you the best chance to win. Quick shout out here to Canadian Grim Reaper 90 with the $5 dono saying, can we put up a statue of David Popkins in front of Rogers Center already? Men is a legend here. Couldn't agree more. I've actually been commenting on a couple people, like other content creators. They're talking now about David Popkins, and I'm saying give the guy MVP already.
Yeah.
Like, that is, you could make an argument for George. You could make an argument for Kirk and, various others, right? There's been a lot of good players on this team, but David Popkins might honestly be the most impactful, just under the whole umbrella of the Toronto Blue Jays. David Popkins might be the dude.
Because when you look at the Toronto Blue Jays lineup right now, you're thinking, well, what's really different from last year? Yeah, you got a lot of the same personnel, but they're all just playing better. Like, you had Barger in there. Like, Jimenez is back on the IL, so he's technically gone. You had Ernie Clement. You had Bo. You had Vladdy. You had George. You had everybody. You had Kirk. These are all the same guys as last year. So what's the effing common denominator
Actually,
here?
the 2 guys that you added in Jimenez
are
and Santander,
not even playing.
They're not even playing.
They're not, exactly.
So it's all of the guys that you already had on the team that are finally being, finally showing us the ceiling or what we thought we could maybe get out of them. We are seeing that right now, and honestly, the biggest thing is David Popkins and that new hitting philosophy. So hats off to him for being incredible. Now, you brought up the fact that there is no current ace right now.
Yeah.
that could change.
Right.
That could change in the next few weeks. July 31st, everybody, mark it in your calendar. Blue Jays say we got to mark it in our calendar because we're going to be live from like 9 a.m. until 6 p.m., whenever the actual deadline time is.
5-ish p.m.
Usually it's 5 or 6, something like that. Either way, that is the trade deadline. And now that the Toronto Blue Jays have been on this torrid hot streak, 8 wins in a row, several sweeps under their belt, number one in the division, the reports are starting to come out that, yes, they are going to be, quote, ultra aggressive at the MLB trade deadline.
That is according to Bob Nightingale from USA Today, saying they're going to be ultra aggressive. And I love Bob Nightingale, but you didn't even need him to tell me that I knew that they were going to be ultra aggressive, right? We've heard Ross come out and talk about how they're going to go get bats. They're going to go look for some pitching depth. Of course, everybody's looking for pitching depth, and they're going to get it done. Because again, what does this season represent? You got a lot of guys coming off the books this year and next year. So if you're going to go all in, now's the time, especially like we brought up. This is the best team we've seen since 93 and 92 and 2015. This is one of those years that it could be quite phenomenal. And I got to give a big shout out here to Ben Nicholson-Smith. He's come out with 2 now, back-to-back articles, breaking down the trade deadlines of what could possibly be upcoming for the Blue Jays. Under Ross Atkins' regime, he usually likes to go out and get 3+ players, usually guys with a lot of control. And fun fact, they usually don't give up a whole lot. I think the biggest trade they highlight here was the Jose Barrios trade.
That was a big one.
It was absolutely a big one where he gave up 2 top 5 prospects. But again, you didn't have to give up the top prospects, just some guys in your system. And the guys that were far, far away from the show. Maybe you could make an argument for Simeon Woods, but they were far, far away, not coming anytime soon. So for the Blue Jays, this deadline, Nick, what are you expecting for them? Are you expecting them to be ultra aggressive, and how much are you expecting them to give up?
I would expect them to have something similar to that Jose Barrios type of deadline. Like I do think that there could be some type of blockbuster like that. I was literally just scrolling as you were talking there, and like there's several articles that are popping up with people speculating. It's like, oh, Orelvis Martinez, a guy that you've brought up several times.
Right.
That could make sense for them to ship off. Well, if that guy's gonna go, then you can probably expect something similar in return to a Jose Barrios. Or we're going to be going in and we're going to be getting somebody that is quite literally going to be an impact player on this team. Maybe not just for this year, but for potentially years to come after that. I also think that whilst these are definitely, I guess, important to reference and, see the history of all these things, this is a different squad than all of those teams previously. This is potentially even a better squad than all of those teams, but also a team where the need is like so abundantly clear, right? In years prior, it's like, okay, we've had a little bit of this, had a little bit of that. It'd be nice to maybe get that, one more bat, or nice to maybe get... No, the need here is we need a good starting pitcher. It is so abundantly clear to everybody. We need a good starting pitcher and probably 1 or 2 other bullpen arms.
It's clear. And we're going to have a lot of live streams breaking down, going into deep detail. We've already made a few podcasts talking about it, of which guys we're looking at. I mean, you brought it up, but I'm kind of hopping on that train. Kansas City, if they're going to be sellers.
I want to pillage Kansas City.
They got great pitching. They were number 2 in ERA last year. They've got a lot of dudes that are proven, a lot of dudes that are in the middle of their careers that are great. I want to go pillage those guys. Obviously, if you can go and convince the Milwaukee Brewers, Freddie Peralta, man, I've been arguing about that for a long time. If you can get anything there, that's a type of deal where it's like, okay, that's next level. That's a guy that's starting game 1 for you for the Toronto Blue Jays. That removes that whole conversation of, well, whoever's hot in September. Well, if Freddie Peralta's an ace and just killing it, then that's a clear, obvious number 1.
100%, dude. And I mean, speaking of the whole Jose Barrios deal and referencing that, I mean, a perfect example, in my opinion, is Chris Bubic over there on the Kansas City Royals. This is somebody that I would be extremely interested in the Toronto Blue Jays going out and acquiring, and something that I could also see Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro convincing themselves of as well. Keep in mind, folks, after this season, Chris Bassett not going to be under contract anymore. Gosman's going to be the last year of his deal, right? There's going to be that bit of a turnover there for some of the veterans.
Yeah.
Chris Bubic, very similar situation he's in right now to when Jose Barrios ended up getting traded over to the Toronto Blue Jays. 27 years old, going to be turning 28, which I believe was pretty much the exact age that Barrios was when they went out and traded for him. He's got another year of control after this season. So you not only get him for potentially the playoff run this year, assuming they are still hot when they make the move, but you'd have him for the following year. And he's also having an incredible breakout season right now. 2.36 ERA, over 100 innings pitched. This is somebody that would immediately come in, and it's like, okay, you're definitely in that wild card series for sure.
Yeah, and like I like the year he had last year too, where it was like 267 as well. Like that's another ace right there. We don't have a guy like that. This is a great clock resetter, and then hopefully if you do, like, look, if you give up, let's say a big piece, like let's say you had to give up a Trey Savage, but you were going to sign this guy back long term, then maybe there's an argument. I don't want to do it. But, like, that's what it might take if there's a bunch of other suitors going for him.
And that's a thing. Like, I think that that's actually reasonable because we've seen Ross do that exact same thing. We've seen him do it before. Like, this is the formula. You know, you trade for somebody that's got another year of control, that's still youthful, that's looking like he's really finally finding it in MLB right now, that's healthy, which has been a thing for him in the past. Like, last year, he had a great ERA, didn't pitch that much, though. Now he's on the field 100%, no concerns, 103 innings, just eating innings. So I could totally see Ross and Atkins and Mark Shapiro convincing themselves that, okay, this is not only going to help us now, but it's going to save money for next year because we don't need to go out and sign our Chris Bassett replacement, and then potentially we could even sign this guy long term if he continues to pan out well.
And I see SP in the chat saying you don't do that, you don't trade your Savage. And I'm with you. You don't if you don't have to. If the deal's right there for you, like again, if you trade this guy and there's also a contract lined up in the trade, okay, well, then you go and you make that happen, right? And because, like, look, this is what you'd want Trey Savage to be. You're just kind of speeding the timeline. Again, I love Trey Savage. Guys leading the minor leagues in strikeouts. But this is an all-in year. It's an all-in year. And you're going to have to give up something to go get something. Ideal world, like you mentioned, I brought it up before, or Elvis Martinez.
Right.
We don't need him. We have Addison Barger. We have that DH spot filled up with Unk. You don't need him. Go send him away. You get the piece you want. And if Casey wants to do that because they want, hitters rather than pitchers because they got a lot of good pitchers, absolutely, let's make it happen. Hell, I'll add on a little more if you really want that to happen.
Also, too, a lot of people have said, don't trade this prospect, don't trade this guy, various times throughout our tenure doing the Blue Jays today. One of those individuals was Austin Martin, who was part of that Jose Barrios deal. And I remember when we drafted Austin Martin, I remember having his dad on the podcast.
Right.
I remember thinking that this was going to be like the next big thing, and everyone talked about, his contact is crazy.
Yeah.
This is going to be like the new leadoff guy for the Toronto Blue Jays. And everyone was up in arms when they traded him away.
Yep.
He's got a -1 career WAR right now. He's 26 years old. He's no longer in the majors.
There you go.
So, again, like, not saying that is what would happen with Trey Savage, but I think that, like, there's this thing that happens with us where we get so excited about these young, like, mystery boxes, because, like, oh, my goodness, like, what could he be? Well, he could be Chris
Bubick. That's what I'm saying.
And it's like, well, that guy's right there right now. I hear where you're coming from. I don't want to trade him either. But if you're actually getting somebody back that is 100% going to help them maybe win a playoff series, like, get that in your heads right now.
That's the thing.
I want to see them win a playoff series. That's the ultimate fucking goal.
And let me ask you, how many times are the Blue Jays going to have this great start to a season? Like, how many times do they get off to this? I'll tell you, they haven't done it in 30 years. They haven't done it in 30 years. Like, when is that going to happen again under this roster? This roster is going to be leaving soon. The pitching is going to get older. We need to bring in more people on this team to pitch games. So if there's an opportunity to make it happen, you make it happen right now.
And I honestly think that that Ross Atkins and that Mark Shapiro, they're going to be exploring those options. And I think that considering this is their best start too, as the GMs and the owners, like, they're probably going to be inclined to potentially give up more than they would in years prior. So just food for thought right there. We're not the only ones that think about it. Bob Nightingale said the same thing. And by the way, guys, could be a very interesting podcast coming out on Thursday. Just saying, maybe a special guest, a little hint, hint, nudge, nudge right there. Let's give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, Budweiser, everybody. Shout out to Budweiser. Baseball is better with your buds. Moments with your buds are priceless. Savor the summer weather while cheering on your Toronto Blue Jays. They're the official partner of the Toronto Blue Jays, as well as the official partner of Blue Jays Today. Obviously, you must be 19 years of age or older to participate. Yeah, I was so used to saying the other one right there. Gotta be legal drinking age. Please drink responsibly. And limited edition Toronto Blue Jays Budweiser cans are now available at your local LCBO. So they literally have the logo on it. I've had a couple of them this season.
They're awesome.
They are awesome.
They are awesome, of course, guys. It's a staple. Big shout out here again to Reaper90, who just became a starter member. Shout out to you, my friend, and welcome in everybody to 260 people in here. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button for your Toronto Blue Jays, and also subscribe to Blue Jays Today. Let's talk about this, because this kind of got glossed over when we were in the middle of our big winning yesterday. They finally announced the All-Star, I guess, bench guys, right, for the All-Star game. And congratulations to Alejandro Kirk, who did make it. Let's go. He was selected for his second All-Star game. Lovely. Any thoughts on Kirk here, Nikki? Obviously a dog, and I'm happy for the bounce back. That's what I thought.
Deservingly so. You guys know that I'm a firm believer in I don't want to just vote in the name. I want the guy that goes to the All-Star game to be worthy of going. And I truly and honestly believe that Alejandro Kirk is the second best catcher in the American League this year. Obviously, Cal Raleigh's on another fucking level, but Alejandro Kirk definitely deserves a nod to go there. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Like, I thought we already knew that he was going. Like, I guess I'm confused at all the All-Star game work.
I know they change it up so often, but like the second round of voting is like that's when you do who's gonna start for the team,
right?
And then if you don't make it, then it's like, okay, then you get selected based on votes, I'm pretty sure. Like, whoever's the runner-up. So he was, like, technically the runner-up.
Okay, as he should be.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so Kirk made it in. However, we did get a snub, and I already see Sophie in the chat talking about it. This one actually is kind of ludicrous. George Springer, he was not brought on the All-Star team. He got a little bit snubbed, I gotta say.
He got a lot of it snubbed, actually.
Yeah, because
especially multiple people that got snubbed.
Oh, yeah, multiple. Like George isn't the only one.
Yeah.
Because when you look at who made it over him, George Springer has obviously been having a great season, right? He has an OPS now almost 900. Granted, this all happened in the last week of baseball. He's been going nuts.
But he was still good.
He was still
prior
good.
To that.
Still good. You're bringing up Joe Adell right there. He's absolutely still good. Mike Trout.
Well, so here's the thing, right? Like I saw, I recently saw something talking, and I don't want to get too far off the topic of George Springer, but somebody was bringing up the example of it's like, okay, well, Mike Trout
made it, and George didn't.
And George didn't. And also, too, like, Joe Adell.
Yeah, Joe Adell.
And Joe Adell is on the same team as Mike Trout and has double the WAR and a better OPS and has just done more. It's the name value.
That's why the All-Star game sometimes is annoying, because it doesn't matter how good you play. It's if you got a cool name and the MLB pumps you, you're going to the All-Star game, which brings me to this guy who should be nowhere near an All-Star team is Julio Rodriguez. Great name. Love it. You hear that, you think, ooh, exciting. This guy is having an awful season in terms of the bat. The defense is amazing, 3.4 WAR, no doubt about it. But how many times do you see a guy make an All-Star team based on his glove? Personally, in my how many years of watching baseball, have never seen that happen. Usually you got to be a good hitter, and he has not been a good hitter. In fact, he really hasn't been a good hitter. He's been an average hitter, actually a little bit above average, or maybe I'm snubbing him a little bit. But this year, not a good hitter.
This is definitely a bad year for him, for sure. I mean, the WAR is great, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that Julio Rodriguez is a bad player by any stretch of the imagination.
Not a bad player.
Because he's still a good guy. It does feel like, I mean, he gets gassed up quite a bit by the MLB, and I think that that's definitely something to note. I just think that the Mike Trout situation is even more ludicrous. Like, I genuinely do.
I just think also this guy making an All-Star team with an OPS that starts with a 6 is crazy.
That's
nuts crazy.
As well.
Like, you know, when you watch the All-Star game, you're looking at all their slash lines, like, wow, this guy's having a great year. Wow, this guy. You're going to see Julio walk up with a 6, and he's going to look dumb.
Yeah.
He's going to look dumb in there. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So the fact that George Springer, who almost almost 200 points higher in OPS than Julio Rodriguez isn't making it, is a huge snub.
It is absolutely a huge snub, and I think that something's got to be. I've said this every
year.
I've said this every goddamn year. I think that something's got to be done about the All-Star game. I don't know how you do it. I don't know what. Maybe it is just based on the numbers, but something else has to be a factor here because. Like, I still think about the year that Bryce Harper won MVP and wasn't an All-Star.
Yeah.
And how does that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't make sense. And I just hate that.
Maybe I wonder how you do it. Like, I don't know if you got to go by some statistical category, whether you go OPS or WAR. If it's wide WAR, Julio's in it, you know. But if you go by like OPS, who's got the highest OPS? All right, the top 4 in OPS at your position, you make it past the first round. Now we do fan voting for the starter, because then I get it. Like, you want the stars of the game to lead off the lineup, right? You want them to start in the game, and then maybe the second best guy can be there, who's like honorable mention. You're not a star yet, but what a great year. I get that. Maybe that's the way. I don't know. That will never change, though.
Because also, too, there's the whole conversation about, you've brought it up several times, Aranda.
He should be in the game just based on his stats.
100%, right? And like Aranda, and again, I love Vladdy, but Aranda has had a better season up until 100%. This point over Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., though, is very popular and was on the cover of MLB The Show a couple years ago. Aranda, he will never sniff the cover of MLB The Show. So, like, that is honestly the reasoning why that happened. And, you know, you could have multiple examples. I know that the NL, they've got a couple of their own examples as well that are just kind of ludicrous and ridiculous. Either way, though, George Springer, we feel for you, dude. You're not the only one that should have gone and didn't end up going. It's just the nature of things. It's
just the way it goes. Also, quick shout out here to Ann Beacock. I want to see Barger in the home run derby. She got the $10 donation. Thank you, Ann Beacock. W's chat for Ann. That would be awesome. I really hope that they invite him, but I highly doubt they will.
They won't invite him this year. If he finishes strong this season and then starts off next year really, really good, and like Toronto is like rallying behind him, I could see reality where maybe next year he gets the invite as like this young, exciting dude with a violent swing. He's still a little bit too fresh though, and doesn't have that name value, because ultimately that's what they're looking for, right? Like, I think that they confirmed Acuna is going to be in it, and like there's a couple other ones where it's like, okay, well, everybody knows.
Names. You want names, of course, right?
But I do agree with you, Ann. I would love to see that swing in the home run derby. You already know too, like, but I think Barger would have a great chance, because he'd have not only the power, but I feel like he'd have the endurance too to just like keep going.
I know. It would be a fun thing to watch. Before we move on from the George Springer conversation, we gotta give him a little bit of credit for what he did this past week. Everybody, it's time. This should come shock to nobody to announce the J of the Week. What do you think, everybody? Who deserves J of the Week? Huh? Who do you guys think it is? I mean, we know who it is.
It's obvious. It's so abundantly clear.
George Springer.
Yeah, it was actually fucking crazy.
It's a slam dunk. It was a slam dunk.
He's not only making you and me eat our words, but like he is shoving us.
I know.
He's shoving our face straight into it.
I know.
I feel embarrassed that I ever doubted Unk in any capacity, because you could make a very strong argument that Unk, not only does he still have it, but he may have it better than ever, and he may even be the MVP on the Toronto Blue Jays up until this point of the season.
100%.
He's got it that good.
100%.
Like, he has been on another level for the Jays, and the clutch factor and the power and the ribby, like, he's got 53 RBIs. He could have a 100 RBI season.
Yeah.
I never thought he would sniff 100 RBIs again in his career.
No. And here he is doing it with a 281 batting average, an OPS of 886. Like, literally, when I think about the time when we first signed George Springer, if you were to tell me, hey, Springer in his first season with you is going to give you 16 homers right before the All-Star break, 53 RBIs, batting 281, OPS of 886, I'm like, hell yeah. We got that. We're getting this 5 years later. Like, that's a phenomenal season to have so far, and it's all being boosted by the amazing week he had this week. He hit 5 homers this week, 5 Springer dingers, 13 RBIs, stole a base, batted .429 with an OPS of 1.464.
Yeah, that's ludicrous.
Every game this guy was amazing. Other than Sunday, he went 0 but every single game he was phenomenal. Unk still got it, y'all.
Yeah,
still got it.
Unk has got it better than I've seen him have it in years, and actually maybe even ever as a Toronto Blue Jay, which is just wild to say. So shout out to Sophie, who has always believed in him. She's saying he's got to be the AL Player of the Week. Could not agree more. Actually, Adam said that literally right before we started recording, and I do think that it would be ridiculous by the MLB to not give him Player of 100%. The week at this point. So
100%.
Yeah, he is incredible. A big reason why the Toronto Blue Jays are 8-0 in their last 8 games, leading the division. The question now is, can they keep it up against the Chicago White Sox this series?
Yeah, Chicago White Sox. Hey, remember? We got beaten by the Chicago White Sox 2 out of 3 games we lost to them. So they're no slouch of a team. Even though they're one of the worst teams, you could still lose to bad teams, y'all. So let's break down this series. The White Sox, game 1 tonight. You've got La Máquina on the bump going up against Burke, who's got a 4.03 ERA. I'm not overthinking this one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not even going to overthink it. Give me La Máquina on the bump against the White Sox. Revenge series for the boys. I think we turned this one into a 9-game win streak.
I would hope so, right? Like, again, the White Sox, for whatever reason, had our number in a previous series, which I've kind of repressed out of my brain.
Yeah.
Like, I really forgot about that. It feels so long ago, and this feels like such a different team since that series, even though it wasn't that long ago.
That's the last series we lost, was against the White Sox.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And we shouldn't, because we are the best team right now in the American League East. So they are 30-60. We are 52-38. It's pretty simple math, folks. I'll give my prediction momentarily, but a quick shout out to the other sponsor of this video.
Hey guys, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below or click the link in the description to join the action. Available in Ontario only, must be 19 years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Shout out to Betway, everybody. Here are the betting lines for this evening's game. As you can see, the Toronto Blue Jays, even though they're on the road, they are heavy favorites.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with it. I don't see them losing their first game in the last 8 to the White Sox.
That would be embarrassing, actually.
It would be a little embarrassing. And if they were to lose this series, like, you know, obviously I'd still think that they're great, and I'd still be very happy with where they are, but then there'd be this weird, silly narrative where it's like, what, we can't beat the dumpster teams?
Yeah.
Because the White Sox have beat us twice? I don't see that happening. I think that they win game 1
Yeah,
pretty handily.
I think we get redemption here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, handily is a good word. 7-2 victory for the Blue Jays. It's going to be a dominant
Feels right.
performance. Yeah.
Feels right. Now, I do want to talk about the other games, but before we do, I actually forgot that we wanted to bring up the little mini drama that transpired when the Toronto Blue Jays handily gave it to the New York Yankees. Shout out to the GOAT, Jamie Campbell. He went on afterwards, after that 4-game series sweep. We talked about this on Friday. He threw the broom at the camera, and he alluded to the fact that Michael Kay, a Yankees broadcaster, is going to have to go on his show tomorrow and acknowledge the fact that the Toronto Blue Jays are, in fact, a first-place team, which he did ever so rudely, I would say.
Yeah. Now, like, we know Jamie and we know that Michael Kay have, like, come to terms, and they've hashed it out over online Twitter and X or whatever, and everything's good there. So that's fine and dandy. But what Michael Kay said in this reaction is very rude. He called Jamie a fawning fanboy.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a disgrace for all the years that Jamie's put into Sportsnet in his broadcasting journalism career. The fact that you sum it up like that is ridiculous. Jamie's not going to come out and defend himself like that. I'm going to defend him for him. That's actually ridiculous and extremely rude. He also goes out to say that if he ever, or Jack Curry ever, had a broom in the Yes Network and threw it across the broadcasting studio, he'd be called into the office and fired. So what you're saying is that the media team over there in Sportsnet and Jamie Campbell are childish and unprofessional. That's absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, you're old media, and you got to go figure out how to become new media, buddy, because what you're doing is so far in the past, you got to get with it, man. The fact that you can't sit here and allow another team, another media outlet to enjoy a victory and enjoy sweeping the rival New York Yankees is ludicrous. You got to get a reality check, and you're going to get it in September, buddy.
Yeah, he references October quite a bit, saying, oh, like, you don't want to hang on the rim in the third quarter, blah, 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 blah. I want to have fun watching baseball, and if you're going to get angry and make me feel bad for our, broadcaster having a broom, like, are you kidding me? It's not the fucking 1960s anymore, dude. People can celebrate home runs. People can, have fun. Literally, we have a home run jacket. What, you don't want us to bring out the broom? Like,
what's the point of being a fan? Like, we always see comments too of us having fun watching the game. People are like, yo, chill, it's just a game. okay, what do you want me to be, a robot that has no emotions watching my favorite team? Like
that's good for baseball. That's good for baseball. Let's make it nice and boring.
Yeah, make it boring.
You know, or at least let's make it nice and boring when your team loses. But when they win, we'll make it nice and fun. Because I'm sure that's the thing. I'm sure that if the roles were reversed, the Toronto Blue Jays announcers never once would have said that the Yankees shouldn't be a first-place team or don't deserve to be a first. That never would have happened, by the way. And then 2, if we got our asses kicked by the New York Yankees and the Yankees were celebrating, that is what it is, because you kicked our ass.
No, we can't celebrate at all.
No, of course not. Of course not, man.
Because it's July. No, it's ridiculous, man. Again, this is what made me so angry at Yankees media back in 2015 when I didn't have a voice. I was just screaming at the top of my lungs. Now that we got a voice, my God, it's got to change. That elitism is insane.
It is actually nuts, man. So makes me pissed off when I see stuff like that, and honestly just makes me want the Toronto Blue Jays to beat them that much more. So that was the drama going on there. Apparently they've hashed it out over Twitter and whatever. It's all class, and, but because Jamie came out afterwards and he's the bigger person and said, "Don't worry, there's no hard feelings, whatever." But we will see. We will come to that. We'll get in the mud for you, Jamie.
We'll do it, man. All right, let's move on and let's talk about how the Blue Jays are going to kick more ass and be better than the Yankees. Game 2, we've got Chris Bassett going up against the Valle, which we handled. I think that's the one game we won. Correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's the one game we won in Toronto. Chris Bassett, very streaky, good, not good, bad. We'll see. What are we going to get from him today? I think we keep going, ladies and gentlemen. I think we keep going and we keep that win streak alive and we go to 10. I think we go to 10 here.
Wow. 10 games. I mean, it feels like, I don't have, that's the thing. I don't have any reason to say that we lose now against the White Sox. No. Like if this was a better team, I might, be able to go, oh, okay, well, maybe Bassett blows up and their offense shows up, but they don't really have that great of an offense,
it's terrible.
And Savali's also 1-5 and just not good.
Yeah, and we did beat him with the one game. So
10 in a row, I guess, for your Toronto Blue Jays. And then the final game here, it's Lauer against Hauser. Now, Hauser actually has been very good. Kind of their version of Eric Lauer. Not that big of a sample size, but he's actually been dominant. Wow.
His last 2 outings, 8 innings scoreless, 7 innings scoreless, 6 1/3, 2 earned runs. Yeah, he's been a machine.
And that was against us. 6 and 1/3. And 2 earned runs. That was against the Toronto Blue Jays right there. So he did do pretty good work against us. Is this where the win streak comes to an end?
Like Lauer power, baby. Like he again, you're right. It's our version of that's their version of Lauer.
Pretty much.
If we think they're gonna go toe to toe, and it's our offense against their offense, I would say the Jays win.
Right.
Give me 11 in a row. We tie the franchise record.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
It feels. It's crazy to say it, because there's part of me that feels like they're gonna drop one of these games in Chicago.
Right, of course, we're on the road.
Because it's like we're on the road, and we're flying high, and it's great, but it is easy to lose a game, because the offense goes a bit cold, and the Benintendi pops one or whatever. But when I zone in to all of them, it's like every single matchup, I can't really say that we're going to lose. So I guess that means that we win 3 in a row. The Toronto Blue Jays are 11-0 in their last 11 and would assuredly be at the top of the AL East. For sure. Probably at that point by at least 4 games. You'd have to imagine. Yep. But that is our prediction for the upcoming week. Quick shout out here to Willard Colcree with the $279 donation saying, brothers, just literally
just brothers. What's up, brother? What's going on?
What's up, dude? You guys give us your predictions in the comments down below, or tell us how wrong we are about ours. We would love to hear your opinions. Let's get into the final segment of this video. It's time to spin the wheel. The spinning fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week. It is, in fact, a wheel that we spin Every
Every
week.
single week, baby. Where are we at right now? We've got, I think I'm up by 1.
I think you
Yeah,
are.
I'm up by 1.
Okay.
It was a weird week last week. Obviously, worst Jay was X-Nate because Clase got sent to the minors. And then Springer and Jimenez both had 1 stolen base. And then Kirk got 2 more walks than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And that's where we're at, everybody. And we're missing. Oh gosh, look how much. What's going on with the wheel?
Oh, what?
What's going on with the wheel?
Where are these things supposed to be?
Am I missing one?
Yeah.
I am missing one.
Okay, well let me see if I can figure it out. We got stolen bases, we got worst J, we got OPS, home runs, strikeouts, J killer, average walks, ERA, K.
It's gotta be a batter one. OPS average, but baseball
Home runs? No, we have home runs.
Oh no, we got that.
No, we got stolen bases. What are we
What are we
missing?
missing, y'all? What are we missing? With time to upgrade the wheel. Maybe it's just a
Bonus
nothing.
player.
Bonus
We're
player.
missing
All right,
bonus
that's bonus player.
player. Okay.
Facts.
All
no,
right.
bonus player's right there.
What the frick?
All right, it's a nothing. What are we missing? OPS. OPS is there. OPS is there. What are we missing?
I don't
K's batters. K batters. No, we got that. Walks. We got walks.
We have ERA. We got
On base percentage. Did we ever have any?
No,
on
we never
base?
had on base percentage because that was just walks.
WAR. Yo, that's actually not a bad category.
This is overall
Can
war.
we do WAR?
All right,
Change it to WAR.
For this week, at least until we figure it out, that is war.
All right,
if we
WAR.
spin it.
WAR. Let's go.
All right. I think it's your week.
It is my week now, everybody. Here we go. It's a tight race. It is a tight race. Let's see what we get first. Home runs. I kind of want it to be WAR.
I do kind of want it to be war as well.
Home runs. Ooh, this almost feels like I gotta take you know who.
Unk?
My God, yeah. Like,
I mean, you got 5 last week, bro. So
I know, and it's like, well, no one else is like everyone's kind of doing what they do. I feel like I gotta take Unk. I feel like the chat's gotta be saying Unk.
Oh yeah, the chat is saying Unk.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take Unk. I feel like I can't let you
No,
get
I
Unk.
would.
I can't let you take Unk.
No, of course. I mean, you got 5.
You got 5.
That's obviously what I would have done.
Yeah. I'm taking Unk.
The chat's saying Barger for me.
Not bad.
Interesting.
Not
Okay.
bad.
Did he get bombs last week? Did Barger
got-
hit home runs? I think
he got 2 actually. Let me
Did he get
check.
2?
Let me check.
I want to say 2 feels right.
Last 7 days. 2. Yep, 2, and Dave Schneider got 2. We were talking about David Schneider.
I will take Addison Barger.
That's
give
a
me,
good idea, yeah.
Give me Addy Batty right there. All right, next category. 300 legends in here, guys. If you haven't already done so, hit that like, smash the subscribe button. Like we said, big trade deadline podcast coming up on Thursday, everybody. We should have some actual insider info here. Blue Jays Today, insider info. So stay tuned for that. If you want to see that, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. The next category here is OPS.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go Unk.
Yeah.
I'm going Unk again, bro. I'm going Unk again.
Oh, I get it. I mean, that's yeah.
He's going crazy.
This could be a really good week for you if Unk goes
Ooh,
nuclear.
what are you
See, I
thinking?
always go Kirk here.
Yeah,
And Kirk,
yeah, he's solid.
Kirk always puts up, right? Like
Yeah.
he just always does. So
Yeah.
I think I am gonna go Alejandro Kirk for OPS.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Don't put all my eggs into one basket, which is Barger. So
Yeah, no, that's fair. That was the one thing I was considering. I'm like, man, I just gotta go Unk.
I mean, if
I have to.
he continues doing what he's doing,
Yeah.
like he will win.
Yeah. I gotta get the big lead. Oh,
Give me war.
whoa!
Hey!
Okay.
And it is
That's
my
a fun
turn to go
one.
first.
It
on
is.
This one.
That's a fun one.
Because I've never really looked at like war over
Yeah.
the course of a week, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, you got to think about the defense.
You got to think about the defense too, you know, and that's
Yeah.
one thing about Unk is like Unk
He doesn't have
doesn't
defense.
play defense.
That's
so
right.
if I were to pick Unk, I'd basically be saying that you win your other 2 categories.
Right.
Because for him to get war, he'd have to, you know what I mean? We're in this thing. Oh. Well, I have an idea which actually seems kind of unfair, but I think it makes sense. Who do we have going tonight?
Barrios. Yeah, you can take Barrios.
He's going to go twice.
He is going to go twice.
And that feels like there's going to be a lot of war to eat up there. So I think I'm going to choose Jose Barrios. And I think that I think that
we
don't have to.
I don't have to because war, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
You don't have to because war is, you know, across the board. So I'll take Jose because he's going to go twice. So if he has 2 good outings, I feel like I'll be in the money there.
Okay. And in that case, I do see a lot of people saying Clement. That dude's a war machine.
He is a war machine.
He's a war machine. How's he been doing lately with the bat? Has he been cooling down with the bat? The thing is, like, his war will always be good, but if he's got that bat, then he's got that extra.
If he's got the bat, then you might win.
He's been kind of mid with the bat, chat. He's been kind of mid.
You put all your eggs into the Unk basket.
No, I'm not taking Unk for war. That's the one I won't do. But I was thinking about Addy Batty, but he's actually right behind Jose Barrios in terms of war. Vladdy's always solid for war.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't picked Vladdy in a while. It's just like Vladdy's not been exceptional.
No.
He's just kind of been there. So
Barger's not a bad shout. Like, maybe I take one of yours. Like, if Barger does pop off for homers, like,
you're kind of you're playing it safe there. You know,
I'm kind of. That's not. Barger has some good catches. He's also got some decent defense. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll play it safe there and like just protect myself in case Unk really does blow up and I lose. So I will go Barger. I'll go Barger for that one.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Uniform Critic says gamer move. Yeah. It feels like we're trying to bring out all the strats for this one right here. I like my selections, but it's tough to bet against Unk right now, and can't pick him if I'm going second every time. But you guys, let us know in the comments down below who you're riding with this week for the wheel. Who do you want to see the Jays go out and trade? What do you think about the drama that went down between Jamie and Michael K? And do you think that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to continue their torrid win streak in Chicago against the White Sox? Please make sure to hit that like button, smash the subscribe button. $4 a month coming YouTube membership, and thank you to all of our current YouTube members. You guys are amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
As always,
go Jays, go! Let's sweep!
Hell yeah.
Let's sweep!